He's the rich soil of Arkansas, the smoky air of the Catskills. Mark Levon Helm, known by the world as Levon, was born May 26, 1940 in Marvell, Arkansas. He grew up, fittingly enough, in the nearby Arkansas hamlet known as Turkey Scratch. There, Levon picked cotton and listened to songs like the Mississippi Sheik's "Sittin' on Top of the World" while sitting on his father Diamond's lap. Diamond played guitar, his mother Nell sang, his sister Linda played washtub bass, and Levon slapped whatever he could, drumming to the songs of the era. The Helm family would visit traveling shows like F.S. Walcott's Rabbit's Foot Minstrel Show. Early on, Levon knew his place in life. In the 1978 film The Last Waltz, the documentary that captured the final live performance of the band's classic lineup, Levon spoke about those traveling minstrel shows. The Midnight Ramble, he called it, when the music got a little louder and the people danced a little happier. Levon Helm was, in simple terms, a happy man and a working man. His hands sturdy from picking cotton, Levon would famously drop out of the Hawks during his time with Bob Dylan, turning instead to working at offshore oil rigs. Levon preferred Coca-Cola from glass bottles, made with cane sugar. He gave back to farmers, like the Gill Farm in Hurley. "Let a business thought run through your head," his father Diamond would tell him, but Levon would rather work with his hands. It was those hands that sprung the shuffle beat for Up on Cripple Creek, the same hands that provided the thump and kick for The Weight. His rhythm unparalleled for a drummer of his era, Levon kept time better than most any drummer. He hit the big spots in the big moments, never reaching too far, never pulling back too much. A percussion master with a feel for emotional resonance. Levon Helm is the only drummer who can make you cry, wrote critic John Carroll. But his drumming was just half the musical package. The other half is that voice, gritty, raw, engaging. Not quite country, not quite soul, but distinct as any in rock legend. Levon's voice was the voice of Turkey Scratch, the voice of cotton fields and oil rigs, of the Civil War and Cripple Creek. He provided the voice to songs like "The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down," "Rag Mama Rag," and "Ophelia." Rehearsing material with Bob Dylan, Levon and his bandmates Robbie Robertson, Richard Manuel, Rick Danko, and Garth Hudson called themselves The Band. They would release their first album, Music from Big Pink, in 1968. The album, a collection of songs recorded in a pink house in West Saugerties, sounded unlike anything before its arrival. While popular music shifted into psychedelia, Music from Big Pink signaled a direction toward American roots. Meaty guitar, dripping piano, sweet harmony, and, leading it all, the shuffling drums and sandpaper vocals of Levon Helm. The band's second album, simply titled The Band, came in 1969, earning effusive praise for his expansion of themes first explored on Music from Big Pink. By this time, the band had become full-blown residents of Woodstock and Ulster County, a place in which Levon would settle forever. Subsequent albums by the band would push Levon out of the group's spotlight, and The Last Waltz, accompanied by a Martin Scorsese documentary, showed Levon more as a drummer, not as a leader. Yet the concert and film gave Levon two lasting moments: his masterpiece performance of "The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down" and his introduction of the Midnight Ramble to the world. It would take Levon more than 25 years to realize his dream of bringing the Midnight Ramble to life. In between, the band broke up and reunited. Levon acted in numerous films, including the 1980 Oscar winner Coal Miner's Daughter. He married and raised a child. He ran into financial trouble, mostly because of royalty issues over the band's songs. But most of all, his Woodstock home was destroyed by fire in 1991, and he was diagnosed with throat cancer in 1996. After 28 radiation treatments in more than 2 years, Levon began his recovery from throat cancer, and he began rebuilding a voice that had been stripped away from him. In 2004, his voice nearly completely recovered. Levon had a new house, a new barn to make music, and a chance to bring the Midnight Ramble back to his world. Shortly after starting the Midnight Rambles at his Woodstock home, Levon found rebirth in his career and his life. Musicians influenced by Levon's drumming and singing would show up at the Ramble. Elvis Costello, Lucinda Williams, Jackson Browne, all guests of Levon's at the Ramble. They took place in the home studio, a wood barn with seating for 100 or so people, a buffet dinner before the show, good conversation and a hardwood floor filled with rugs, and Levon playing hits by the band, Bob Dylan, and others, and always ending with a group sing-along of The Wait. As if more confirmation was needed, Levon released a few more solo albums late in his life. 2007's Dirt Farmer and 2009's Electric Dirt showed Levon could still play and sing better than most anybody. Both won Grammy Awards, with the latter fittingly winning the first ever Grammy for Best Americana Album. Levon would win another Best Americana Album Grammy in 2012 for Ramble at the Ryman, a live show he produced with his band at Nashville's Ryman Auditorium. That show displayed Levon at his best, resonant, gritty, real and gifted, and happy, extremely happy. Levon Helm was a Woodstock man through and through. His rambles brought thousands to Woodstock for weekends, for once-in-a-lifetime trips. He was the spirit of a town so intertwined with its musical past. He helped the schools, he played for the residents. He was, in many ways, everything that makes Woodstock good.